Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to another episode of Mondays Are For the Nerds. I'm your co-host, Jay Wright.
I'm your other co-host, Tristan Stump.
And thank you for joining us as we recap last week's pop culture news on a packed week that we had.
Yes.
In terms of news.
In terms of news.
Specifically for you.
Yeah, you'll see. You have seen the title if you've clicked on this. But
if you remember last year.
Gamescom was this week. It's the big showcase in, I can't remember where in Germany, but it's in Germany. Where it's kind of like we get at the beginning of the year, there's not really anything huge until the summer. Then you get
Summer Games
It
Fest.
used to be E3, and now it's Summer Games Fest, and all the different presentations companies usually put on around that time of year. Before that, it's just like companies might give like big updates, but it's not. There's no big conference or anything that I can remember off the top of my head. But then after that, it's Gamescom. And then it's
the Game Awards.
Yeah. So it's
got a lot of news for it.
Yeah. Also wild that it's already that time of year.
I know.
We're getting through our second of our
it's
third
already
big.
Almost the end of August.
It's crazy.
That's wild. We're almost in 2026. Did you do anything this week?
I mean, I played more Lego Dimensions.
Nice.
I finished the Ghostbusters story pack. And
I need to finish it.
I finished the Mission Impossible, Ghostbusters, and Goonies levels, which means that all my level packs are now done, and now it's on to just the story packs. And once I'm done with story packs, I'm going to do a couple missions in the hub worlds, so I can get some characters' alternate versions unlocked, and then I'm going to do the story mode, and finish the story mode, and then start working towards getting the open worlds, as completed as I can with what I have.
Yes.
I did get a new comic book.
I say
new. It's from '97, but I hadn't read it yet. I just knew all I knew about it was kind of what the story was about, and that it's known for how insane the art is.
Yeah.
If you want to flip through that, it's called Kingdom Come. Comic people know Kingdom Come.
I've heard of it.
But it's for those who don't, it's essentially what happens when the Justice League lets the younger generation take over, and how them coming back and dealing with the ramifications of the younger generation taking over, because the younger generation doesn't really care for keeping humanity safe. So the older generation's like, okay, got to come back and fix everything. But their fixing might not be such a good thing. And that's kind of like the gist. And there's a whole lot of like allegories you could talk. And I could get into the nitty gritty of the story about like who the like narrator is and stuff. But I won't, because
this is awesome.
But it is, it's a really good comic. I'm enjoying it so far. I knew I would because I had heard it was really good. But the version I got also has a lot of like, once the comic's done, there's a lot of concept art and people talking about the development of the story and stuff. There's a foreword by, I can't remember the name of the author. I'm going to look real quick.
Mark Waid?
No,
Alex Ross?
Mark Waid and Alex Ross are the writer and artist on this. There's a foreword by a different artist, because Jay, I brought this up because I wanted to tell you about it. A different author, Elliot S. Magan. I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce the last name. So he talks about how in the 70s, when he was in college, he was pitching he had just sold like a Green Arrow or Green Lantern story to, I could look literally now and see which one it is, but I'm not going to. Anyway, he had just sold a story, and now he was having a meeting with the DC publisher at the time to pitch more stories. And he was friends with a guy who was a stepdad, so he was at this guy's house hanging out, and the guy's stepson, who was around 13, loved comics too, so they were like talking and stuff, and he was trying to bounce ideas off this kid, and this kid was giving him ideas too.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so the kid came up with the idea, what if the Guardians told Superman that he is preventing humanity from developing by solving all their problems? And so he pitched that story, and it got published, but by the time he had pitched it, he'd completely forgotten where he got the idea from. Like, legitimately, he was like, I forgot. So 20 years later, this kid reminds him, hey, I think I gave you the idea for that story. But the kid didn't seem too hurt by it, because 20 years later, by the time he had
who was it?
Told him about it, he had written Commando.
Oh, so he's fine.
It's Jeff.
Jeff, yeah.
Jeff Loeb.
Yeah.
Jeff Loeb III. Anyway, But it's kind of funny, like, story to, like, open up with. Like, yeah, I wrote this
Yeah.
story that is kind of also evocative of what this story is. What happens when humanity becomes too reliant on superheroes? Anyway, so
He
it's...
goes on to get his own thing.
So,
I love that.
So, yeah,
The artwork is
this is a
beautiful.
really, really good story.
It's like painting rather than...
Oh, yeah, it is totally... Alex Ross is an insanely good artist.
Mhm.
But, yeah, that's what basically Lego Dimensions, and then getting that book like 2 days ago.
Nice. Working your way through it.
That's my week.
I didn't do a whole lot. I just stayed at home, and of course we started the show this week. So I stayed at home. I told Trey Monday, I'm like, Ghost of Yotai comes out in October. I'm right now playing some Assassin's Creed Shadows, but I don't want to get too burnt out on Japan by the time Ghost of Yotai comes out, and I don't have Mafia yet. So I'm like, you know what I feel like playing for some reason? Spider-Man. So I've been playing Spider-Man all week. I'm almost through with the third part of the DLC.
I know. I saw that
I was
your
like-
your your
Snapchat.
Snapchat story yesterday
Was the end.
was the end. Where I was like, man, when did he start that?
Monday. All day. I've been playing it basically all day, all week. I'm not 100%ing because I want to get the Into the Spider-Verse suit. And to do that, you have to finish the Silver Sable part of the DLC.
Yeah.
And so I'm going through, and now I'm doing that. And then I'll go back and 100% everything. I'm on New Game Plus. It's my third playthrough.
Yeah, when I played Miles, the first thing I did after it let me
Yeah.
like explore was unlock the Spider-Verse suit. Where
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, no, I'm doing this first.
Yeah. My main one right now until I get it is the Amazing Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield one, because I love that one. And now that I've played it, I realize I hadn't played it since like May of 2023.
I haven't played it since I got my PS5.
And that's
so
been
probably around
around that.
2023, something like that. So
The score,
or PS4, I mean. So 2022
Yeah.
was the last time I played it.
yeah. I've realized now going into more films and all that the score I love, and I just love the score in Spider-Man so much. That's so much that I've like added it to my likes playlist, and I'm like, it's so good. It's so good. I still hate the Sable. Did you finish it, right?
I don't have the DLC, so I know about it. I've yet to buy the DLC and play it.
But you finished like the
But I finished the main story, yeah.
So the Sable like armor and stuff.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
so overwhelming, and I have always hated that. But that's my only thing I don't like about that game. I might move on to Miles Morales and maybe Spider-Man 2, but like the symbiote stuff in Spider-Man 2 infuriates me because it's so
I want
hard.
to play Spider-Man 2. I've been waiting to.
Did I just spoil it?
I know about
You
the
know what?
symbiote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It infuriates me, so I don't know if I'll get to that, or at least 100% it. But that's what I'm doing right now. And then, of course, I also wrote episode 6 of my spy show. Not much. There's not much big releases that I have this week. There's like one big one that I like. Should I get in those?
Yeah, go ahead and get in releases.
In theaters, on Friday, August 22nd, Relay came out. Riz Ahmed plays a world-class fixer who specializes in brokering lucrative payoffs between corrupt corporations and the individuals who threaten their ruin. He keeps his identity a secret through meticulous planning and always follows an exacting set of rules. Trust came out. A Hollywood starlet retreats to a remote cabin after a scandal, but she's not alone. Betrayed by the man she trusted the most, she soon finds herself trapped in a brutal game of survival. The English dub of Neja 2 came out. Born to mortal parents, a rebellious young demigod uses his immense powers to battle an ancient force that's bent on humanity's destruction. If I had more money, I would have gone up to see that, and had the show not been happening. I want to see that so bad. It looks so good. Honey Don't, for the second episode in a row, came out. A small-town private investigator, Honey O'Donoghue, probes a series of strange deaths that are tied to a mysterious church. Splitsville, when his wife asks for a divorce, a man runs to his friends for support, only to learn that the secret to their happiness is an open marriage. And Eden got a limited release. Between inclement weather, unruly wildlife, and a total lack of amenities, all three groups find life on Floriana arduous, but nothing will test their mettle more than the challenge of coexisting with desperate neighbors capable of theft, deception, and worse. On the streaming side, Friday, August 22nd, saw Eenie Meenie come to Hulu for the second episode in a row. A reformed teenage getaway driver is dragged back into her unsavory past when a former employer offers her an opportunity to save the life of her chronically unreliable ex-boyfriend. Monday, August 18th, saw Lego Masters Jr. have its series premiere on Fox on the TV side of things. And Are You My First Season 1 dropped on Hulu. Tuesday, August 19th, saw Songs and Stories with Kelly Clarkson have its series premiere on NBC. The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox miniseries debuted on Hulu on Wednesday, August 20th. Thursday, August 24th, Peacemaker Season 2 premiere on HBO Max. I did watch it. Loved it. Friday, August 22nd, Invasion Season 3 premiered on Apple TV+. 007 Road to a Million Season 2 dropped on Amazon Prime Video. And Long Story Short Season 1 dropped on Netflix. That is all of my releases for this week.
I got some releases this week. Luckily, not so many that I'm like, crap. On August 18th, Horde Lord released on PC from Fatbot Games, high-octane arena shooter, where you face waves of nasty enemies, use destructive weapons, and high mobility to secure your spot on global leaderboards. Expect tight gunplay, satisfying kills, and meaningful upgrades. Stick It to the Stickman, released on PC from developer Free Lives and publisher Devolver Digital. Stick It to the Stickman is a physics-based brawler where you fight heaps of red stickmen to become the boss. Choose from hundreds of unique moves to construct the perfect combat machine and fight your way to the top of corporate ladder. August 19th saw the release of Delta Force making its way to PlayStation and Xbox. I believe it launched earlier this year. Sword of the Sea released on PS5 and PC from Giant Squid, surf across magnificent waves of sand and glistening waters on an epic quest to restore a lost ocean from the visionary artist behind Abzu, The Pathless, and Journey. Sword of the Sea is an atmospheric surfing adventure with fast movement inspired by classic skateboarding and snowboarding games. Shantae Risky Revolution, released on all major platforms from Way Forward. It was released on Game Boy Advance earlier this year, of all platforms, because Shantae is back in a 2D side-scrolling action-adventure game 20 years in the making. The nefarious pirate Risky Boots has a groundbreaking new plan that will leave Sequin Land spinning. By rotating the continent, she can move any town right to the coast for easy plundering. As Shantae turned the tectonic tables on Risky by taking control of the land itself. Shift, twist, navigate, and explore by swapping between mix-and-match multi-layered levels. Hair whip and belly dance your way through scrambled lands, misplaced towns, monster-filled crypts, and daunting labyrinths. 6 creature transformations, fierce boss battles, and a 4-player versus mode await. So this game was originally the second Shantae game.
I think, didn't we say it on the last week before, I feel like?
It's been a little bit since I've talked about it.
Okay.
But there was the Game Boy Color game. I talked about that I bought the games on
that's
my
what
Switch.
That's what I'm thinking.
But the original game was on Game Boy Color, and then they were making this game for Game Boy Advance, and they couldn't get a publisher, so they shelved it. And then years later, they were able to make a different game on DSi, and it's since been bought on other things. And then they made a game for 3DS and 2 for consoles. And so for the next game in the Shantae series, they decided to go back and continue development and finish the second game. So this is like the 6th or 7th game, but it is the second game chronologically.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just neat that they got to do that, and that we got a Game Boy Advance game in 2025.
Exactly.
August 20th saw the release of AccuVac, a suck and blow adventure on PC from Curdle Games and Mr. Afroduck. You good, Jay?
Yeah, I'm good.
This is the game I was warning you about.
That's the game.
Suck, blow, swing your hose around. In this physics-based action-adventure, you'll become AccuVac, the world's most chaotic canister vacuum. Smash, clean, and overachieve your way through ridiculous challenges in a robot-run world. Cleaning has never been this messy or this much fun.
It's going to go on my tombstone. Suck, blow, swing your hose around.
Ugh. I laughed so hard when I saw that title that I was like, I need to keep this in.
Yes. Dude. What was it called? A suck and blow adventure.
AccuVac, a suck and blow adventure.
And what is it on?
It is on PC. We'll get you that PC yet, man. All Systems Dance released on PC from Mighty Yell Studio and Strange Scaffold. Automation is not the answer. Dance is the key to disruption. Help liberate citizens of a consumption-obsessed corporate dystopia in All Systems Dance, an expressive dance battle adventure. Connect moves, express yourself, feel the music. Join the movement. The resolution will not be choreographed.
Why does this feel like something Tina Belcher would create?
This is one of her friend fictions.
I'm
pretty sure there is one of the episodes. I think there is an episode about her friend fiction where dance is outlawed or something.
Yeah.
Black Myth Wukong made its way to Xbox. Triangle Strategy made its way to Xbox and PlayStation. Voidbreaker entered early access on PC from Stubby Games and publisher GameStack. Adrenaline-fueled roguelite first-person shooter. Fight relentless machines driven by hostile AI. Escape an endless cycle. Craft infinite weapon variants with deep gun modding. Forge deadly synergies. Carve your way through the enviro destruction. Break the system. Break the sequence. Break free. Worldwide Rush released on PC from Mimel Games Worldwide Rush lets you experience passenger transportation and management on a global scale, expand your company, meet the growing travel demand, compete against other companies, and discover new continents with this unique vehicles. The entire world is yours to control. On August 21st, Althea, The Wrath of a Fairy, released on PC from developer Marslit Games and publisher Neon Doctrine and Gameseer Publishing. Althea, The Wrath of a Fairy is a fantasy adventure game where a sword-wielding guardian and an arcane monk must learn to work together to defeat the void corrupting their home. Explore ruined temples, solve environmental puzzles, rescue spirits, and defeat giant void monsters. Big Loot entered early access on PC from Reverie Clouds, roguelike caravan survival game about risk, loot, and smart trading. Every run is a journey of hard choices, clever upgrades, and the eternal question, do I play it safe or go with the big loot? Deep Sleep Labyrinth of the Forsaken, released on PC from developer Script Welder and publisher Armor Games, people who grew up playing games on Newgrounds and like just online and armorgames.com might remember the Deep Sleep games. This is the next game in that series as a full like game developed game. The other games I think were remade and bundled together for a full release, but like this is the first new entry in this series that's like made to be a paid game. What Dreams Are Made Of is the stuff of nightmares in this new point-and-click adventure. Delve deep into realms both fantastical and terrifying, and use the power of lucid dreaming to solve puzzles, explore, and contend with eerie adversaries in your search for the brother you thought had died. Discounty, released on all major platforms from developer Crinkle Cut Games and publisher P-Cube. Manage your own discount supermarket. Get caught up in small-town drama, organize and plan your shop's layout, and strike lucrative trade deals as you expand your secretive ant's business empire. Selling more frozen fries will surely heal this broken community, right? And Herdling, released on all major platforms from developer Okomotive and publisher Panic. Guide a herd of mysterious creatures on a stirring and beautiful journey into the mountains and beyond. That sounds like one that you and I would enjoy, Jay.
Absolutely.
Kill the Brickman, released on Xbox and PC from developer Donut Soar and publisher Ponkel. A brick baking turn-based roguelike bullet builder. Blast bricks to break the bank. And finally, Kill the Music, released on PC from Nico Nico. Kill the Music is a rhythm action roguelite about defeating hordes of enemies with musical instruments. That's my releases for this week.
I got my first batch of miscellaneous news on posters. Actually, quite a bit. We got character posters for The Paper, 40th anniversary re-release of The Breakfast Club, and the 40th anniversary re-release of Clue, which will be, I think it's across 3 separate days. They're doing one ending each day.
Yep.
My mom, she actually brought these up before I told her. She's like, I wouldn't mind going to see that. And I'm like,
I would really have loved to have seen it. By the time this episode releases, it'll already be passed.
Yeah.
But
she didn't know that they filmed 3 different endings for the original Clue.
She didn't?
No.
So she hasn't seen it since it came out then? Because if you buy it on DVD or VHS, even, it had all 3 endings.
Whenever I rented, I think I borrowed it from Trey the first time I saw it on DVD, and I did watch it with all 3 endings. But I think she didn't know that like when it was released in theaters never didn't know what ending they got.
Oh,
I remember we're going to drop a poster off at the movie theater, and then I told her that, and she's like, I did not know that. I got posters for the House of Guinness, character posters for Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, one battle after another, Splinter Cell Death Watch, Fallout Season 2 character posters for the 2nd episode in a row, Him, Wicked for Good, and the IMAX poster for Conjuring Last Rites. Got a whole slew of trailers and teasers this week. For the 2nd episode in a row, we got a trailer for Jimmy and Stiggs, which if you listen to last week's episode, it released last week in theaters. Got a trailer for The Knife, released this week in theaters. Good Boy, releasing October 3rd in theaters. Keeper, releasing November 14th in theaters. Ballad of a Small Player, releasing October 29th on Netflix. Pluribus, November 7th on Apple TV+. Fallout Season 2, releasing December 17th on Amazon Prime Video. Black Rabbit, releasing September 18th on Netflix. Eden, releasing this week in theaters. London Calling, releasing September 19th in theaters. The Mastermind, October 17th in theaters. The Pit Season 2, premiering in January on HBO Max. A second trailer for A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, releasing September 19th in theaters. Hedda, releasing October 29th on Amazon Prime Video. Anemone, for the 2nd episode in a row, releasing October 10th in theaters. Arco, releasing November 14th in theaters. And Splinter Cell Death Watch, releasing October 14th on Netflix. In release dates, Gen V, it was announced that episodes 1 through 3 will release on September 17th with a new episode each week through October 22nd. Fallout Season 2 was announced to be premiering on December 17th. The Cat in the Hat was delayed 9 months to to November 6th, 2026. Blade Runner 2099 will release in 2026 on Amazon Prime Video. And Good Boy is being upgraded from a limited release to a wide theatrical release on October 3rd after the trailer went viral. And I believe the Google search for "Does the dog die in Good Boy" maximized like 3,000%.
Yeah.
I sent that trailer to Trey, and he and I are going to go watch it. So you'll get my reaction to a horror movie.
I wish you luck. Poor Jay.
I'm going to be stressing out.
Between me and Trey this Halloween, he's like going to be going through a lot.
I know. No, I forgot about games.
Yeah. Next couple recording sessions. One's going to be completely more for
Mario.
everybody. One's going to be completely a day of just sitting down and playing Mario RPG, and the other's going to be a day sitting down and playing our filler games, which is probably going to be horror stuff.
October. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe leak into November, depends on how much we get. But yeah.
And that I have no idea. Something's completely surprising me for it. You'll get some good content out of that. In castings, Kristen Wiig will voice Roboto in Masters of the Universe movie. For the Tangled live-action remake, Corey Milcrease revealed he auditioned to play Flynn Rider, saying, quote, "My audition wasn't very good." In The Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum, Ian McKellen revealed that Frodo will appear. Daphne Keane has been cast as Artemis and Percy Jackson in The Olympians Season 3, as well as Sarah Chandri's cast as Zoe Nightshade. Karen Gillan has joined the Highlander reboot, and Nicolas Cage is in talks to star in True Detective Season 5. That is all for my first batch of miscellaneous. Now I get to take a break.
In my gaming news, Nintendo started our week on August 19th with a Kirby Air Riders Nintendo Direct. This was a Nintendo Direct highlighting, obviously, Kirby Air Riders, Masahiro Sakurai, returning to the Kirby series for the first time since I want to say Kirby Air Ride on the GameCube. I want to say that's the last game he worked on. Mm-hmm. Since then, it's been other developers. But he did reveal that it's a mixture of Sora, who owns Kirby, and his team and Bandai Namco's team that made Super Smash Brothers worked on this. So this is what the Smash team has been working on.
Yeah.
For those who are like, I can't wait for Smash for Switch 2.
No.
This is what they've been working on since Ultimate was done.
Yeah.
Because he revealed in his YouTube channel, like the last episode on his YouTube channel, he was like, yeah, I recorded these all in like the span of a couple months or something, and now I'm straight on I'm working on my next game. By the time this episode's out, you'll probably know what it is, and then like a month later or whatever, we got the reveal of Kirby Air Riders and that he was working on it. And so anyway, so he gave the presentation, talked a little bit about that. It releases on November 20th. Mm-hmm. This is a Switch 2 exclusive game, obviously. Playable characters include Kirby, but also King Dedede, Meta Knight, Magalore, Susie. I can't remember the full name, but the chef character from those games. Anyway, and more. So it's not just Kirby this time. Mechanics include a second button, because the first game was a one button. You only use one button to do everything. But the second game now has a second button. B will boost, and Y will use the special ability of a character to switch like vehicles or copy abilities. And city trial mode, of course, returns with up to 16 players. So that was more or less like the catch-all of what was in there, because it was 45 minutes long, so there was a lot of information, but that's kind of like what sums it up. It is $70. It is a $70 game. And then Gamescom kicked off with the opening night live hosted by Jeff Keighley. And there was a pre-show and then the opening night live. And then I have more news from throughout the week. But we'll just go through. Bubsy 4D was announced, a new 3D platformer in the Bubsy franchise, which is like one of those. We don't know why this franchise is still around, because none of the games are good, except. Fight me on that one. That's kind of the consensus, is like none of the games are really all that good. Why does this franchise keep coming back? But it is the second 3D platformer. The first 3D platformer killed the franchise for like a good 15 years. For reference, Jay.
Yeah.
Anyway, a new 3D platform in the Bubsy franchise from the creator of Demon Tides, which is a upcoming really, really good 3D platformer. And he's also, I can't remember, the Demon Tides is a sequel to Demon Tower, I can't remember what the first game is, but this guy knows what he's doing. So the fact that potential. He's the team behind it, this is probably going to be a good game. Yeah. They also redesigned Bubsy, and that's all I have to say about that. RTS Battlestar Galactica Shattered Hopes was also announced. HD remaster of Outlaws plus a handful of missions, which is a LucasArts first-person Western shooter. That was announced. Densha Attack was announced, a high energy, high action train driving game. You fight bosses as a train. You're like jumping on different tracks, and
Dude, you know how much I love a good train scene.
it looks crazy. Art director Lee Petty gave an interview about Double Fine's upcoming game Keeper, talked about the Bird and Lighthouse's mechanics together and other information about the game. It releases October 17th. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Dragon Pearl of Destruction, He-Man beat-em-up game, was announced. We got a new trailer for Absalom, and a release date of October 9th. A new trailer for Long Gone, the zombie apocalypse narrative point-and-click adventure game. From the creators of Ghost Runner is dark fantasy old-time war game Valor Mortis. We got a new look at missile-based simulator PVKK. Horror game Routine made its third comeback after 13 years of turbulent development. So this was 13 years ago, like 2012 to 2013.
Yeah.
Steam did this thing where people voted on game ideas to get greenlit, and this got greenlit. And then it was going to be released in 2017 and it disappeared, and then it came back in 2022 and it disappeared, and so now it's back again with another trailer. You play as an astronaut exploring a base on the moon, doing a routine inspection as horrors attack, and you look around the corner using the camera on your watch.
Oh.
And you get this 70s VHS filter through this camera and stuff.
Yeah.
And so you have to take pictures, and it's just long dark hallways. And the trailer ended with water rushing through and him turning around, and it's all first person, and rushing, and as he starts climbing up the ladder, he just stops, and then you just get drug.
Oh.
And that's how the trailer ends. Oh, it was so cool. I'll never play it, but it was so cool.
Yeah.
Swords of Legends, a new entry in the Chinese game series of the same name, was announced, releasing on PC and consoles simultaneously in the West for the first time ever, which is pretty cool. Road Kings, a trucking simulator, was announced. It ended with the trucker driving his truck through a hurricane.
Is it Liam Neeson?
So I don't know if there's some kind of story-based thing going on, or if this is just straight up a trucking simulator that they call Road Kings. Because I got the vibe that it's a trucking simulator, but there's story missions and stuff.
Yeah.
Because most simulator games aren't really my thing, because there's no thing to follow to do. It's just messing around, and
Yeah.
I get bored after a while. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is getting Pac-Man content, and Pac-Man World 2 Repack is getting Sonic content. So they're doing cross-promotion for both games, which is pretty cool. I think Pac-Man and the Ghosts are going to be playable racers. Silk Song is officially launching this year. Actually, for sure this time. More news later. That was basically what showed up that night. We'll get to Silk Song later. I promise you.
Yeah.
Black Ops 7 story mode was given a highlight. It is set in the year 2035. David, I can't remember the last name, but he returns. He's the main character in other Black Ops games. He's working with the Guild to go across a number of maps around the world and stop a terrorist, Raul Menendez, and his robots. It is a co-op campaign with up to 4 players. Zombies Arcade makes its return, and there is a PvE mode called the End Game that surrounds around the hub world of the story mode, and it will release November 14th. A Black Ops Direct is set to air on September 30th with more multiplayer information. Lords of the Fallen 2 was announced, set 100 years after the first game. We got to look at the Sekiro anime, Sekiro no Defeat, and I forgot to put that in the anime section, so that's a little bit of a
Tease.
I think that's coming out next year. I think it's next year. Lego Batman: The Legacy of the Dark Knight was officially announced from TT Games. So this is a classic Lego Batman, but it's not, because it's pretty much Lego Arkham.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This is a new kind of Lego game. It follows Batman through his journey from training to becoming the Dark Knight, and takes moments from the movies, TV shows, comics, and works them together into one cohesive plot. It features, we don't know if this is for the whole game or just the story mode, but it features 7 playable characters, which could be a disappointing thing, where it's only 7 when the games are known for having a varied roster.
Yeah.
But their reasoning is that they're making every character unique and focusing a lot on alternate costumes and just different things like that, where it's okay. And especially with the gameplay, it being very Arkham heavy, it's having just a bunch of characters might not work right, but it's still disappointing. At least give us playable villains. I hope there's playable villains. Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, Jim Gordon, Talia al Ghul, and Catwoman join Batman as playable characters, and they will all have their own gadgets. Jim Gordon has a foam gun that can like block pipes and stuff. There are difficulty levels for the first time in a Lego game from TT.
Oh, wow.
So there's classic mode, which is unlimited lives, like low difficulty level. Then there's, I want to say it's dark Cape Crusader mode, which is still unlimited lives, but the combat's a little harder. And then there's Dark Knight mode, which is you have lives.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. Other information that we can list off here without getting too nitty gritty. Matt Berry voices Bane.
Yes.
Which is really cool.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to see what other voice actors and like celebrities and stuff are in the game. We know Batmite is in the game as a shopkeeper. We know that other villains you'll fight other than Bane, Penguin, and Joker include Poison Ivy and Ra's al Ghul.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say, thanks to the demo gameplay that released, it's mentioned by Red Hood / the Joker that Batman and Jim Gordon have already faced against the Falcone family. So I'm wondering if the Falcone family is going to be in the game or if that's something that happens off screen in like a time skip or something. Because we know the first mission is going to be training with the League of Shadows.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Like, it's going to have a lot of villains and references in it. There's Jay and I were talking. There's already so many like obscure references. Seeing Ethel Merman, who played a villain named Lola Lasagna in 2 episodes of the 60s show. She got a reference in some marketing material.
And maybe some Justin Timberlake.
And maybe Justin Timberlake, or maybe the Robin from the Dark Knight movies. Because Dark Knight is John Blake, and this guy's name was Justin T. Blake.
Yeah.
So it's either a reference to John Blake or it's a reference to Justin Timberlake, whose only Batman connection we could find was that in an interview in 2013, he said he wanted to play the Riddler.
Yeah. Or if we rewatched the Lego Batman movie, Will Arnett
there
might have ad-libbed something.
might have been an NSYNC joke, but I don't know.
Like,
even that's so obscure that it wouldn't make a.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's the only thing I can think of.
Scarecrow, Mr. Freeze, Two-Face, and Clayface are also characters that got teased. The map is rumored to be bigger than Arkham Knight's,
with 4 different islands.
Just all sorts of stuff. Can you tell that we're excited and we have a little bit of bias towards this game?
Yes. When I need to get back to Arkham Knight.
I'm so excited for this. I just love that it's like mixing the movies together in a way where before, when he's still Red Hood, he's Jack Nicholson, and then when he becomes the Joker, he's Heath Ledger. It's just different things like that. It's interesting that like he got asked the director of the game, or the lead of development of the game, got asked some questions about who's going to be in the game, like characters, and most of the time, other than Batmite and Condiment King, he said no comment on Harley Quinn, Bob the Goon, the Nice Coat Guy, David Zaslav, Jason Bateman.
Hey, Bateman was good.
Anyway, so different things where it's like, it's going to be interesting to see how much of Batman's lore gets put in here. Like, are there multiple Robins, or is it just Dick Grayson, and then when he becomes Nightwing, we don't see another Robin take the mantle? It'd be nice to at least have Tim show up, or Damian Wayne if Talia al Ghul's in the game.
Yeah. As a playable character, no less.
But all that to be said, very excited. We could talk about that nonstop, but we need to move on because there's so much.
Yeah.
And we don't want this episode to be too long. But look forward to us talking about that game more when we get more information. Probably at the Game Awards. I would guess like a March release, spring.
That's what I'm thinking.
Spring release. It's pre-alpha that we saw. So it's a very early build that we saw. But that doesn't mean anything because builds are usually way earlier than what development actually is when it comes to showcase demos.
Okay.
But that still means they might be in the beta phase by now or something. So who knows? Warhammer Dawn of War 4 was announced for a 2026 release. Monster Hunter Wilds is getting Final Fantasy XIV Online content, including rideable chocobos, coming this September. This October, Final Fantasy XIV Online will be getting Monster Hunter Wilds content. We got a new look at Onimusha Way of the Sword coming in 2026. We got new trailers for Enfield Europa Universalis 5 coming in 2026. Daemon X Monica Titanic Scion coming September 2025. Voidbreaker, which is out now. We got a new look at gameplay of Order of the Giants DLC for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle coming September 4th, and is also coming to Switch 2 in 2026.
Yes.
A new trailer for Deadpool VR dropped. We got a new look at Mogo, voiced by John Leguizamo. Omega Red, Mephisto, Ultron, and Lady Deathstrike as the villains of the game coming November 18th. The plot is revealed to be that Mogo has trapped Deadpool in a reality show where he has to like perform well or get canceled. World of Tanks 2.0 update was announced coming September 3rd. We got a first look at gameplay of John Carpenter's Toxic Commando coming 2026. Ron Gilbert has announced that Death by Scrolling, a roguelike vertical scrolling game set in Purgatory, is the next game that he is working on. Disco Elysium developer Zayum, I think is how you're supposed to pronounce that, announced their next game, Zero Parades. The Darkest Files, the Zero Parades, I believe, is like a spy RPG, but it's like exploration RPG. Like there's not a lot of combat and stuff. Like you're unlocking new abilities in conversation and deception. And I believe that's what it is, because that's what Disco Elysium is. And Disco Elysium is like 70s cop show mystery. So this is what that is for spies by the same team.
What is it?
It's called Zero Parades. We don't have a release date yet, but I'll show you the trailer when we're done recording.
Absolutely.
The Darkest Files, The Glass House, and Compensation Not Guaranteed were given a highlight on stage as part of Gamescom's Spotlight on Games concerning democracy. Trailers for Neverness to Everness, Unbeatable, coming November 6th. Honor of Kings World, Fortnite Cross Squid Games content, and Delta Force were also shown off. A new trailer for Ninja Gaiden 4 was shown. It's coming October 21st. Zombie shooter Cinder City was revealed. Time Takers, a team-based survival shooter about earning more time after your death, was given. That's the lore reason. Like all the characters you're playing as were pulled at the moment of their death, and they're promised more time if they do this. That was announced. We got a new look at Silent Hill F coming September 25th. Susie Young was announced as the English voice actress for the main character. Wanma Games, I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, presents Divinia Comedia. I did not get any more information released written down for that game, so I apologize. We got a new look at Chronos: The New Dawn coming September 5th. Ben Schwartz, as Mark, the head of sequels, gave a new look at Outer Worlds 2 and its companions. The trailer clarified that no, you can't sleep with them. And it announced the release date of October 29th. We got a new trailer for Enjoy Island Getaway update coming August 20th. Trailers for Fate Trigger, Seven Deadly Sins Origin, Moonlighter 2, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 coming October 21st were all shown off. And Shrouded announced a new update, Update 7, Wake of the Water, adds underwater elements. Age of Empires 4 is coming to PS5 with a new expansion, Dynasties of the East, on November 4th. Trailers for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Legacy of the Forge expansion was shown. A new expansion for Cult of the Lamb, Woolhaven, is coming in 2026. World of Warcraft Midnight got a new look at its cinematic opening, launching in 2026. Project Spectrum, a psychological horror PvPvE game, fight other players and horrors wishing to lower your sanity. So that's kind of a cool concept, psychological horror, where you're fighting other players, and there's a lot of games where you fight other players and the environment. Being a horror is interesting.
Yeah.
World of Tanks also had another announcement with World of Tanks Heat. We got a new look at Ghosts of Yote and the announcement of Ghosts of Yote Legends DLC arriving in 2026, free if you own the base game.
Yes.
New look at Resident Evil Requiem, giving a look at Grace's backstory. Grace is the main character. And Black Myth Zhang Kui was announced, a sequel to Black Myth Wukong. And then a reminder that Game Awards is December 11th. Chibi Robo made its way to GameCube NSO app on Switch 2 August 21st. Hollow Knight Silksong has finally received a release date of September 4th. It is for sure coming out this year on, I want to say, all major platforms, PC, Xbox, Switch, PlayStation. The reason for the seven-year development cycle for it being a full game, I believe for a couple years before that, it was DLC for Hollow Knight. It was given that the team was just having so much fun coming up with new ideas that they kind of just lost track of how big the scope that they made the game. And they're having so much fun making the game that they're like, no, we'll just keep delaying it until we feel like we can release it. So many ideas were made that they realized, it would take us 12 years if we did everything. So ambitious post-launch content has been teased as well. Tales of Xillia Remastered was announced for all major platforms, releasing October 31st. Shenmue 3 Enhanced was announced for PS5, Xbox, Nintendo, we don't know Switch 1 or Switch 2, and PC. A teaser was released for Yooka-Laylee, and more information on the game is coming August 29th. King of Meat releases on Xbox, PC, and PS5, I believe November 7th. Dungeon crawling game Deep Dish Dive was announced. Free-to-play action RPG God's Death and Reapers was announced. Jump Space Space releases September 19th on Xbox and PC. Dark Hours version 1.0 has been announced for a fall 2025 release. Hotel Barcelona releases September 26th on Xbox, PC, and PS5. Farming RPG Star Sand Islands has received a release window of 2026. Disney animation-inspired horror game Bye Sweet Carol has been given a release date of October 9th on all major platforms. I showed Jay the trailer to this because I'm very excited for this. It is, imagine like Alice in Wonderland, Little Mermaid, that like era. I mean, that's a big era. That's like a 40-year era. But like that Disney style. But it's a survival horror game, and it's even animated when you're playing the game. It's not just cutscenes. Very, very cool. You play as a girl that thinks she's like she lives in a girl's orphanage, and she enters this other like dark world looking for her best friend who she believes has disappeared, and everyone else is like, no, she got eloped. So we shall see.
I honestly want to play it.
I do too. Satisfactory is coming to Xbox and PS5 November 4th. No, I'm Not Human releases September 15th on PC. Karamara releases October 6th on PC. Strategy survival roguelike Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown was announced for PS5, Xbox, and PC. Japanese fairy tale inspired nightmare extraction game Kaidan was announced. Medieval action game 1348 Ex Voto was announced. Katanaut releases on PC September 10th. Stealth horror game Halloween, based on the movies of the same name, was announced for PC, PS5, and Xbox to release in 2026. Play as Michael Myers to terrorize the citizens of Haddonfield. VR horror game Dread Meridian was announced. Hell Let Loose Vietnam was announced. The 50 versus 50 player shooter comes to Xbox, PC, and PS5 next year. Tropico 7 was announced for Xbox and PC, releasing next year. Pioneers of Pagonia enters version 1.0 December 11th on PC. Shrine's Legacy releases October 7th. Psychological horror game Operation Stutter was announced. Escape a secret Cold War facility while fighting the horrors within the base and within your own mind. Story-based puzzle game Project Remind was announced from Red Hog Studio and Full Dive Games. I Hate This Place releases on all major platforms November 7th. Star Trek Infection VR releases later this year. Moonlighter 2 got an early access release date of October 23rd on PC. Dark Fantasy Lovecraftian roguelike deck-building game Infurious was announced. Arctic Awakening releases September 18th on PS5, PC, and Xbox. Honeycomb: The World Beyond releases November 6th on PC, PS5, and Xbox. Steamboat Willie-inspired horror game Bad Cheese releases September 1st on all major platforms. PS5 is increasing its price from PS5 is now going to be $549.99. Digital PS5 is going to be $499.99, and PS5 Pro is now going to be $749.99. And finally, Kingdoms of the Dump, an RPG by janitors for janitors, got a release window of November 2025. That is a retro, like Super Nintendo inspired RPG where everything takes place in the lands of Phil. And you go across the different kingdoms in that land with your party members. That includes a knight that is a little trash can, a rogue that's a rat, a bard that is a broken lute, and a wizard that is a bathrobe with a giant bubble wand, and a like desperado kind of character. He's a trench coat and a fedora that has like no face or anything, and it has a pistol. I love this. And the villain, the villain could have changed, but when they originally announced the game, the villain was like this big like king, and its head was a magic 8-ball. Oh. So everything in the game is made of trash, or like is a junkyard dog or bugs, something you would find in a junkyard. Landfill. So yeah, very, very excited for that. That is coming to PC only for now. But hopefully they get a console deal. Yes, for me. And that is my gaming news. Did you see what GameStop said about the PS5 price increase? Yeah, if you turn in like a PS4 and stuff, they're going to automatically give you $50. They'll give you $50 towards it. Which is what the price raise was, $50. So they're like, we got you. If you want to give us your old console, we got you. Yeah. I have my second batch of miscellaneous. In new looks, we got a new behind-the-scenes look at Josh Brolin with the children and weapons for the third episode in a row. Alien Earth for the second episode in a row. Got a new behind-the-scenes look at Sydney Chandler and a Xenomorph. Got new clips from The Conjuring Last Rites and The Long Walk. New looks from Hedda, Tron Ares, and Hamnet for the second episode in a row. And a new look at Elphaba and Wicked for Good.
And first looks, we got a first look at Fallout Season 2 for the second episode in a row, which featured our first look at Justin Theroux as Mr. House, first peek at a Deathclaw, and first look at Dinky the T-Rex. I think I also saw it say we got a first look at Macaulay Culkin, but then the picture looked nothing like him.
I don't.
But then I couldn't find the thing from discussing film.
I don't think that was Macaulay Culkin.
That might have been.
I feel like that would have been something they would have brought up there.
Yeah. Because I looked at it, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I looked at the picture. I'm like, that looks nothing like him. Then again, the penguin looks nothing like Colin Farrell. Makeup.
Yeah, no. His last news when I Google Macaulay Culkin was Home Alone tour.
Okay.
That he's doing. So I don't believe that was him.
We got our first look at House of Guinness, which series follows the Guinness family and the consequences of the death of the head of the brewery, Benjamin Guinness. First behind-the-scenes look at the Backrooms movie, first look at The Pit Season 2, first look at Emily Paris Season 5, and first look at Half Man. In box office earnings, Weapons, for the third episode in a row, earned $25 million in its second domestic opening in its second domestic weekend, just a 43% drop. And K-pop Demon Hunters, for the third episode in a row, is tracking to be number one at the domestic box office with $15 million plus. It's not for sure yet. We'll find out tomorrow. As of the time of recording this at least, but it'll probably be on the next week's episode. Because like I said, not a lot came out this week.
Yeah.
Not a lot of big stuff.
The creator of Amphibia tweeted about K-pop Demon Hunter, saying it's nice that this movie is like changing the animation industry in real time, of making studios realize, oh, new stories might actually, and he specified new stories and then cultures that are represented correctly.
Yeah.
Are like, oh, we can actually, that's actually, you can make a good movie without it being a sequel.
Yeah.
What?
Exactly. K-pop Demon Hunters everywhere. I told Trey at practice one night, I'm like, Trey, he put it on like music before practice. He like played Golden or something, and I'm like, Trey, let's be honest. How much have you watched this movie? And he goes, moving on. He's like, it's Sadie watches it nonstop.
I said he has 2 daughters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and he also himself loves animation. He can deny it all he wants when he's
like, I'll be singing
talking,
Soda Pop.
like teenage Kraken and stuff. I remember he was talking about that. He goes, I put it on for Sadie, and it's like,
no, Trey.
He's gonna listen to this. He's gonna text me and be like, "Hey, screw you, man."
I don't know how far into the episodes if he watches the full thing, but yeah, I'm gonna be like,
if he does get this far,
I'll tell him tomorrow and be like, listen to the episode.
Yeah, at least get to by the time I edit this, maybe the 49-minute mark.
There you go.
Anyway,
in Glenn Powell news for the third episode in a row, he was asked if he wanted to play James Bond, and he said, quote, "I'm a Texan. A Texan should not play James Bond. Get an authentic Brit for that job." Austin Butler was basically the same thing, and he gave basically the same answer.
Yeah, but the difference between Austin Butler and Glenn Powell is Glenn Powell said, "I'm Texan," and Austin Butler said, "I'm American."
I saw someone say, I love how he said he's Texan and not American. Glenn Powell is Texas.
Texans feel very strongly about this.
Exactly.
They've tried to secede before. They'll try to secede again.
Ain't gonna. We'll make our own James Bond.
Screw you. We'll make our own country with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the country.
Your own thing. Oh, dude.
Futurama reference. Got to stick one in there. Anyway.
Yes. In new announcements, Ben Stiller says he won't be directing any episodes of Severance Season 3. And if you're wondering, why is that a new announcement? It's because instead he is directing a World War II survival thriller about a downed airman in occupied France. Jake Gyllenhaal and Kevin Costner have been cast in Honeymoon with Harry from Crazy Stupid Love directors Glenn Ficarra and John Requa. The film follows a man who goes on a honeymoon with his would-be father-in-law after his fiancée dies before their wedding. Guy Pearce is in talks to play Rupert Murdoch in a new biopic directed by Danny Boyle with Jack O'Connell also in talks to star in the film. Jason Momoa will produce and potentially star in a new action thriller called The Pirate, also produced by David Leitch. It's described as The Raid, but set on a pirate ship. Awesome. A new live-action Archie Comics movie is in the works, with Phil Lord and Chris Miller producing the film and Tom King writing the script. Words and Pictures are working on a Chadwick Boseman documentary. They're also the production studio that worked on Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. And a Kobe Bryant biopic is in the works at Warner Brothers. In Miscellaneous Mentionables, YouTube has asked about buying the rights to the Oscars. Greg Fraser will be the cinematographer for Sam Mendes' 4 Beatles films, which means, unfortunately, he likely will not be able to return for the Batman Part 2.
Prediction for the Archie movie. I have 2.
Yes.
They'll either try to pull a Riverdale again and make it a genre it shouldn't be, or...
You mean just pull a CW?
Or Archie and friends find themselves transported from the 50s to modern times. And they struggle with whether or not they should return to their time or stay in the in modern times, where they start to become corrupted by modern morality, and it's a statement on losing the American way.
Yep.
Am I cynical? Am I too cynical?
You just nailed the two. It's probably going to be one of the two.
It's going to be one of the two.
It's going to be one of the
Archie's
two.
coming to modern times either by overcorrecting and modernizing it and turning it into what a modernized Scooby-Doo should be. I have always said that. And I will say that to the, like, I will take that statement with me to the great beyond. Riversdale is just a Scooby-Doo show with Archie characters.
Yeah, I've seen
like a modern Scooby, like a young adult Scooby-Doo show with Archie characters.
Yeah.
So it's either going to be some new twist on that, where it's going to be overly inappropriate for what it is, or it's going to be some like them coming to modern times. Not that the statement of like the dangers plus the upside of what the 50s used to be versus now. Like, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's just that them coming to modern times is such a tired trope that I'd have no faith that they're not going to do that.
It's almost, you can almost guarantee that something like that is going to happen.
Which, I mean, Archie kind of jumps the shark all the time. Need I remind you of Archie Meets the Predator, an actual comic book that got released. Or an Archie Meets Jay and Silent Bob, an actual comic that released this year.
So it's already out of the 50s.
Yeah, which I mean, but still, as far as like the cultural like perception of what Archie is, when people think of Archies, they think of it being in the 50s or some kind of like optimistic Americana and limbo kind of thing. Which I feel like if you just stayed in that world, there's an interesting movie to make it a parody. Make it a parody of the old Archie and Blondie and like movies from the 50s, where it was like the Teen Beach, like what Disney did with the Teen Beach movie.
Yeah,
make it that. Don't make it what I know you're going to make it.
Call it a period piece.
Yeah. Anyway,
we're
ranting more about this than I think we did Batman, so we need to move on.
Guillermo del Toro refused to make Frankenstein with too much digital effects and green screen, saying, quote, "I want real sets. I don't want digital. I don't want AI. I don't want simulation. I want old-fashioned craftsmanship. I want people painting, building, hammering, and plastering." Disney is pressing creatives in Hollywood to pitch ideas for original movies targeted towards Gen Z young men, specifically.
Which, I mean, yeah, Disney's always kind of like going back and forth on whether or not they want to appeal to like young men, to like boys in general. They kind of go, oh, if boys like it, they'll like it, but we're going to stick with families and the female demographic.
Yeah.
But then they'll do things like, oh man, we really need to push for making movies boys will like, and then they don't advertise them, and Treasure Planet and Atlantis end up being hidden gems that never get referenced again, except for appearances in 100-year anniversary material.
Yep. And when people are like, if you're thinking about live action remakes,
dude, Treasure Planet and then I'm telling you, they're
those two,
Treasure Planet and Atlantis are my two favorite Disney movies.
Absolutely.
Treasure Planet is one of the movies I play when I need to feel better.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much.
It's so good. It's so good.
And they had a sequel planned for it. Did you know about that? Mm-hmm. It was a direct-to-DVD sequel because it was being made around the time the direct-to-DVD sequels were starting to be produced and stuff. Yeah. And it was going to be about Jim dealing with Metalbeard the pirate and having to call on Long John Silver for help. But Long John Silver clashes with Jim's love interest that's going to the academy with him. And it sounded so interesting.
And then they didn't.
And then the movie did poorly. And like Atlantis, they had to... Atlantis at least had enough material to be made to make it to release it anyway.
Yeah.
This did not. So it's like, okay. Someday, maybe someday they'll return to that world.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they come up with. But I'm just saying, by the time Disney gets those movies out, they get cold feet about actually wanting to appeal. As if there also isn't enough things that are being made by studios owned by Disney.
Yeah.
That appeal to Gen Z boys where they wouldn't even have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Like Marvel.
Yeah, exactly.
And The Simpsons.
I didn't know where you were going to go
I'm
with
keeping that long pause in there because I legitimately couldn't think of anything Disney also owned that was like Star Wars.
You went with Simpsons.
What with the Simpsons when they own stinking Star Wars?
Oh, that's like
Star Wars
that's
and
like
Marvel.
Their second biggest property.
That's their boys stuff right there. Is Star Wars and Marvel. Like they can make boys Disney movies if they want, but Disney has just a history of wanting to appeal to boys and then failing at it because they realize they don't need to, and so they don't advertise the movie.
I would also say Muppets. Just kidding.
Muppets is
a little bit.
A little bit. Muppets is just an untapped potential for family movies in a gap where Disney's only releasing their animated movies as like the general family stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, we just got Freakier Friday, but like they're not doing that a whole lot. You could be doing so much more if you would give Muppets more than 5 seconds to actually approve themselves.
Yeah, exactly. I love the Muppets so much. Any listeners know that we love the Muppets.
It's such a poorly dated line. Poorly aged is the right way. In Muppets Most Wanted, where they're singing, "We're doing a sequel," and Miss Piggy's like, "The studio considers us a viable franchise."
Exactly. Viable franchise. Oh, I forgot about that song.
That song is the worst. That song is one of the worst aged Disney songs.
Yes.
And not because of any historical reason. It's just because Toy Story 4 actually came out and they no longer consider the Muppets a viable franchise.
Exactly. Oh.
And they say they can't do any worse than Godfather 3. And
should we move on?
Yes.
Should we move on?
Sorry, I'm ranting.
No anniversaries this week. This is an aside.
No anniversaries this week.
No anniversaries this week.
So the time that anniversaries would have made up is made up by my Archie and Muppet rants.
There you go.
And my
We're back,
very
guys.
opinionated thoughts on Disney's handling of the male demographic. Which they, like I said, it's unnecessary. There's so much stuff for boys already. We need to move on.
We need to move on. I do have today in pop culture history for this week. Such a pivot.
Today in pop culture history, the Muppets.
I made this like a week ago. I don't know what I have, to be honest with you. Okay, Sunday, August 17th in 1908, Phantasmagoria was released by Emile Cole. It is one of the earliest examples of traditional hand-drawn animation and is considered by film historians to be the first animated cartoon. Monday, August 18th in 1962, Ringo Starr joined the Beatles, replacing Pete Best. Tuesday, August 19th, the real Texas Chainsaw Massacre occurred in 1973. Milestone birthdays for that day also include Keira Sedgwick turning 60 and Peter Gallagher turning 70. Wednesday, August 20th in 1920, the first commercial radio station, 8MK, Detroit News Radiophone, now called WWJ, began operations in Detroit, Michigan. Thursday, August 21st in 1994, HBO aired a concert special featuring Barbra Streisand. It was her first public concert in 27 years. Friday, August 22nd in 1952, Adventures of Superman was copyright registered. And on Saturday, August 23rd in 1991, Tim Berners-Lee, inventor of the World Wide Web, opened the www to new users. And that is this week in pop culture history.
I have some anime news.
And a comic.
And a couple comic news. A new visual release teasing the 9 shorts from Star Wars Visions Volume 3, premiering October 29th on Disney+. An anime adaptation of Shinobu Kaitani's Liar Game has been announced. This is a psychological thriller manga that it is releasing in 2026. This was announced in celebration of the 20th anniversary of the manga, and the creator made a statement feeling as if since it came out, so many things have happened that he feels like the message of the manga is needed now again. So that's pretty neat to see. I never heard of it before, but now I'm very interested. 2 Year Eternity documentary, The Roots of 2 Year Eternity, will arrive on Crunchyroll August 29th. Umamu Sume, Cinderella Grey, Core 2 will premiere October 5th. A new look was given to Devil May Cry Season 2, premiering in 2026. The Banished Court Magician aims to become the strongest, premieres October 4th. I don't need to do the plot for that one. An anime adaptation of the light novel Level 999 has been announced. I didn't do the plot for a lot of them because I didn't have time, to be fair. That was just a joke about how long the title was. Odeo Fireslayer, The Legend of the Phoenix, will premiere in January 2026. Yano Kun's Ordinary Days premieres at September 30th. Easygoing Territory Defense by the Optimistic Lord premieres in 2026. Blue Miburo Season 2 premieres October 20th. TV anime Bride of the Barrier Master was announced. For thousands of years, Japan has been protected by the 5 clans wielding barrier-weaving magic. Born to a branch family of one such clan, 18-year-old Hannah has always been stuck in the shadow of her more capable, beautiful, and popular twin sister. When a strong power awakens within Hannah, she chooses to hide it so she can continue living a quiet life out of the spotlight. But the ideal lifestyle begins to slip out of reach when Saku Ichinomiya takes over as the new head of the Ichinomiya clan and sets out to find a bride strong enough to stand by his side. Eager to keep her ability secret, Hannah steers clear of Saku, but will she be tempted to sign a marriage contract if it guarantees the peaceful, quiet future of her dreams? An anime adaptation of A Livid Lady's Guide to Getting Even has been announced. Elizabeth Leaston, daughter of the influential Prime Minister, is a picture-perfect lady on the path to becoming the future queen of the Kingdom of Haldoria, but her life takes a sudden turn for the worse when her fiancé makes a show of publicity, calling off their engagement. Soon after, he throws her in jail and starts spreading nasty rumors about her. The encouragement Elizabeth receives from her royal waiting maid, Muriel, and her inner fury are all she needs to reconsider her goals. Why would she continue devoting herself to a country that doesn't respect her when she can trample over it instead? She will get even with those who wronged her and bring down the kingdom, even if it is the last thing she does. Luckily, Elizabeth is no damsel in distress and has 7 powerful magic grimoires she won't hesitate to use. Get ready because this lady is out for blood. Blue Eye Samurai Season 2 is officially in production. And in comics, a Lobo and Punisher crossover cover was released for Deadpool Batman. Ooh. And Wiccan Witch's Road, a new 5-issue miniseries, was announced from Marvel. It is the character's first solo run. And that is the comics news that I saw that I was like, ooh, let me write that down. And there's probably plenty more, but it just completely, with all the Gamescom stuff. I probably missed Gamescom stuff too. I know there's a lot of games that were already announced that got new gameplay looks and more information and stuff that I just... Look at the runtime.
Yeah.
We're already here, and
yeah.
I couldn't get it all written down, especially because I was busy, too. So I said, it's always like, what'd you do this week? I try to think of what I did with my hobby, because if other than that, it's like, I worked. I did family stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
yeah.
That is my news for this week.
I have a little bit of comics on the DC side of things. Peacemaker Season 2 for the second episode in a row. Of course, we said previously it premiered on August 21st. Before it premiered, we got a new poster, and afterwards, the new opening credits sequence was released. Superman for the 17th episode in a row, and as I told you, it's approaching the Deadpool Wolverine mark, joins the Letterboxd 2 million watched club. It's the fastest movie to reach the milestone at 45 days, beating the previous record of 104 days held by Barbie. It passed $600 million worldwide, and David Cornsweet's audition tape was released. In the Batman Part 2, Colin Farrell says he doesn't have a big part, but he's reading the script this week. James Gunn says the next movies that DC will likely make are the Batman Part 2 and the Superman follow-up. We did assume, I would say, that these are ones that are not already actively being made. He's also said the Superman follow-up movie takes place, quote, within the group of characters we've already met, and Superman is an important element. He also said that Blue Beetle fits in very nicely with the DCU like Peacemaker. And Margot Robbie revealed that the Penguin was the original villain in Birds of Prey, but said, quote, Matt Reeves said, don't use the Penguin, I'm going to use him in the Batman, and so we swapped it to Black Mask. On Marvel, Avengers Doomsday for the 4th episode in a row, it was confirmed that Ryan Reynolds will return as Deadpool. They said, quote, don't expect him to actually be joining the Avengers team, though. Marvel Zombies for the 2nd episode in a row got a new look, and it was revealed that Valkyrie, John Walker, and Scott Lang's head will appear. In Spider-Man Brand New Day for the 5th episode in a row, Tremel Tillman has been cast, which I told you he looks like Jefferson Davis. However, I've seen a lot of other people say Robbie from the Daily Bugle, maybe, but also he'd make a good Norman Osborn.
If they bring Norman Osborn to live action and it's not Coleman Domingo, it better be a completely different version. That's what I'm thinking,
because I loved Coleman Domingo in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think Coleman Domingo is also an amazing. He has that charisma and persona to be Norman Osborn. I feel like that's why I'm like, I want Coleman Domingo as Norman Osborn if you're going to go that route. But Tremel Tillman, he's a good actor. I'm sure he'll do fine. But like, you've already given it to Coleman Domingo. kind of. I mean, yeah, it's another universe, but still.
Still, I mean, come on.
Call it.
They're very loose with whether or not an alternate versions of a Marvel character will be the same actor or not.
I.e.
Doctor Strange, every alternate version is Benedict Cumberbatch.
Kang.
But, and same with Kang, but then you get into like Loki.
And it's like different.
All different actors.
Way
and
different.
then you get into Mr. Fantastic, and so far, 3 different actors.
Yep.
I mean, we haven't seen whether or not Fant Four stick, but we at least know off screen that the original Fox movies are also in the MCU multiverse. And
because of Deadpool and Wolverine.
Because of Deadpool and Wolverine, where it's like, okay, so those alternate versions can all be, but then Wolverine, it's other than one, it's all Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you gotta.
So it's like.
So who knows whether or not this is gonna they just decide we want to do a different actor.
Yeah.
I mean, Coleman Domingo is right there, and I'm sure he's probably
he did an
willing.
Job.
He might be. He might not be. But
True. I feel like he's the kind of person that'd be like, yeah, I'm done. But also Tramel Tillman and Liza Colin-Zayas as Jefferson Davis and Rio
they'd
Morales.
be great.
And they'd be look alone.
They'd be great in whatever they got casted as.
Absolutely.
But,
I haven't seen Severance, but he was in Mission Impossible.
Maybe they do this thing where every Miles Morales side character is in there until they finally get. They just keep adding characters until Spider-Verse is over, and Sony's like, fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's the big asterisk with Jefferson Davis is what Kevin Feige said. In last week's episode.
But yeah, so they just add it, and then.
Because we've got Prowler.
Yeah, we got Prowler. I said Prowler comes back, and it's just a scene where he's like, "I'm at dinner with my brother, man."
Exactly.
that's all it is.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, speaking of Beyond the Spider-Verse, Shamik Moore revealed that he has begun voice recording for Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. The suit that Tobey Maguire wore in Spider-Man 2 will be auctioned off on September 4th, as estimated to sell for $100,000 to $200,000. And Kumail Nanjiani revealed that he signed on to play Kingo in 6 MCU films and a video game, but none of that happened after Eternals, except for coming back in, I believe, season 3 of What If. In celebrity deaths this week, Terrence Stamp was 87. He played General Zod in the original Superman films, among many other things. Dan Ziski was 80, from Treme and Chappelle's Show actor. Tristan Rogers was 79, General Hospital's Robert Scorpio. Ksenia Alexandrova was 30, former Miss Universe contestant, dies after a collision with elk. Judge Frank Caprio was 88, Cotton Providence star, dubbed the nicest judge in the world. Brent Hines was 51, former Mastodon guitarist. Joe Cariff was 103, U.S. title designer and poster artist behind West Side Story and The Last Temptation of Christ. Ilan Dershowitz was 64, U.S. producer known for Reversal of Fortune and The Whole Truth. Akyat Patdar was 90, Indian actor known for Dev and 3 Idiots. Michael Fessler was 69 or 70, French director and screenwriter known for March of the Penguins and Farinelli. Eduardo Serra was 81, Portuguese cinematographer known for Jude and Unbreakable. Jaswinder Bala was 65, Indian actor and comedian known for Carry On Yada and Power Cut. Jorge Maestro was 73, Argentine screenwriter known for Jungle Tales. Humpy Wheeler was 86, American racing executive who voiced Tex Dynaco in Cars. John Crawley was 47, a TikTok star, and David Ketchum was 97, Agent 13 on the Get Smart show. My sources this week were Deadline, Movie Insider, PopCulture.net, Writer of Pop, Hollywood Reporter, Screen Rant, Bloomberg, LA Times, IGN, Entertainment Weekly, The Wrap, Variety, Prop Store Auction, Empire, The Insider, and of course, Discussing Film.
I want to thank my sources for this week: Discussing Film, IGN, Crunchyroll, Polygon, PC Gamer, and the official sites and socials of the studios mentioned today. I cannot believe I managed to get IGN, Polygon, and PC Gamer to give me all the information, because last year, if I remember correctly, I had
like a bunch.
I had a bunch of different sources, but these 3 were able. I was able, and I also watched Gamescom opening night live myself.
Yeah.
So I was able to I could directly pull from it. So
yeah.
But yeah, and then any of the other stuff we talked about with Lego Batman, that came from a bunch of just YouTubers and random just articles and stuff that I read that I can't remember off the top of my head, so
Discussing
I feel terrible.
Film had a lot of it.
Discussing Film had a lot of it. But yeah. And now
we have a quiz to close out this week for
and
another personality quiz.
Yes.
It's not like a trivia quiz.
Jay sent it to me, and I said, yeah, that was funny. Everyone is a combination of Disney princess and a character from Parks and Rec.
Here's yours. Before we begin, I think I'm definitely Andy, for sure.
Well, last time we did the Which Disney Princess Are You, we both got Ariel.
I was going to say Andy and Ariel, honestly.
So,
I was trying to think of an animal-centric one.
So we'll see what happens. Who do you know Parks and Rec better than me?
I was trying to think about this earlier. I want to say Ben, but also I can see a little bit of Chris in you, too. Do you know who those are?
I know who Ben is.
Adam Scott.
Yeah,
Chris
okay.
is Rob Lowe.
Okay.
Yeah. Pick a word to describe yourself. Determined, independent, goofy, intelligent, optimistic, and caring.
Hey, Jay, am I optimistic?
How do you want me to answer that?
Cut back to every cynical thing I said this episode about Disney and
Just
Archie.
Take the rant out and put it here as well. So you just hear it twice.
But all echoey because it's a flashback.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say caring for me.
I can be goofy a lot.
For you, I mean, we joke about Jay being dumb, but goofy or intelligent are probably the two I would choose for you.
Did I tell you about the Walmart story?
No.
One time at practice, Trey said, "This is genuine. I wasn't even trying to be dumb." Trey goes, "Jay, my Walmart pickup order's ready. Go pick it up." And I'm like, "Okay, where?"
So Jay, there is
and my mom goes, "That's Jay, not Rufus."
There is a difference between intelligence.
Wait, I forgot intelligence on here.
And that's why I said you can be Jay can be intelligent.
When
But that doesn't mean
planning
he's smart.
Planning a year release schedule of the MCU 4 years ago.
Or giving you scientific explanations for random things.
Random animals.
Jay is very intelligent.
But
Whether or not
mostly
he
goofy.
is smart is a different question.
Oh, it's not a question. It's a fact. I'm not. I would say goofy. I feel like I'm mostly goofy.
You're mostly goofy.
And I'm not trying to get to Andy. I swear.
Pick your biggest flaw. Shy, naive, headstrong, selfish, conceited, or controlling.
Naive.
I would say
For me?
my biggest flaw is probably I can be a little selfish.
I'm thinking shy or naive for me.
For you, I would say naive.
Naive.
You've definitely gotten past a lot of that shyness.
I have in certain parts of life.
When it comes to work, you're no longer shy. Doing theater. When it comes to
Pick a sidekick. Bruni from Frozen 2, Mushu, Pascal from Tangled, Sven, Hamish, Hubert, and Harris, the triplets from Brave, or Lumiere.
I'm going with Mushu.
Oh. Honestly,
Jay, we were just talking
Sven.
about your social skills. You need Lumiere. I'm
I do
kidding.
need
Pick
Lumiere.
Sven.
No, I was going to say Sven, but I do need Lumiere.
Lumiere to be a wingman. Pick a reoccurring Parks and Rec character. You know who I'm going with, right?
Who are you going
I'm
with?
going with John Ralphio, my boy. I know enough to know that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
John Ralphio. Honestly, I'm not Tammy too.
My quiz just restarted itself. Holy crap!
Oh no.
The ad that played in the corner finished playing, and so now I'm gonna have to. Okay, hold on.
I can honestly see myself as Craig, which means I get angry at the smallest things.
I guess if we're supposed to pick ones that we are, it just had me pick a character, so I just picked the one.
Oh yeah, pick a recurring. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Pick an activity. Writing, reading, exercising, exploring, watching TV, or going to a concert.
Ooh. For both of us, writing and watching TV is.
I was gonna say writing for sure, and then I saw watching TV.
You know, here lately though. I mean, I've been watching TV, but I've been reading a lot more lately, so I'm going to
I
pick
need
reading.
to read more. I've been binging a lot. Of
I
Everybody
used to
Loves
read
Raymond.
so much. One of the things Jay and I used to bond about was books, and then
I know.
we both became way too modern.
Yep. I'm gonna go with writing because I feel like I enjoy writing more than I do enjoy watching TV.
Pick the dog that best represents you. Border Collie.
Cat.
I was gonna get to it. Border Collie, Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, Golden Retriever, Belgian Malinois, whatever, and Siberian Husky, and then cat. And Jay, the option is either I'm a cat because I'm different, or I'm a cat because I think that's a dog.
For me, I was gonna say I'm a Siberian Husky because I'm husky.
Golden Retriever because there's nothing going on between those ears. And you get way too excited about everything.
I do. See like a new brand of Teddy Grahams in the Walmart aisle, and I'll be like, I'm gonna have to go with cat.
You're gonna have to go with cat.
I'm gonna have to go with cat.
I was also gonna go with cat, but if I were to choose for you, I would choose Golden Retriever.
Golden Retriever.
Yeah. Choose your Disney prince. I'll be shooting for me own hand. That's my choice.
I'd be shooting for my own hand.
I know she says it doesn't say me own. I know she says my own, but
Honestly, is this like who we would like?
Yeah, I guess it's
who we
choose
see
your
ourself
Disney
in.
princess, or do you choose your Disney prince? So this is which prince is mine?
I'm shooting for my own hand.
We're both shooting for our own hand.
Pick a color: green, pink, blue, purple, yellow, or red.
Yellow's the closest thing to orange.
Honestly, I'm digging that blue.
Pick a social media app. No thanks. All of them: Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Just because of Messenger.
I have a Twitter problem.
Oh wait, no, Snapchat.
Lastly, pick a food: veggies, soup, waffles, burger.
Okay, I was half right on mine.
You were half right on mine.
Did you get Ben?
Yes.
Who else?
Belle.
I got Andy and Rapunzel.
Huh. You know I can see it.
I can see it. She's built. Yeah, I can see Rapunzel.
You are Belle and Ben. Like Belle, you are very caring and you see the good in everyone. And like Ben, you are witty and you are in touch with your inner nerd. You are introverted, smart, and great at what you do.
You are Rapunzel and Andy. Like Rapunzel, you love to explore and you are an extremely positive person. And like Andy, you are a total goofball who has a silly sense of humor. You have a childlike nature and you are tons of fun to be around. That is true. That is true. Thank you, BuzzFeed.
Yeah, thank you, BuzzFeed. That actually made, unlike most personality quizzes, I feel better about myself.
I do.
BuzzFeed usually makes me feel like I should go
cry in the corner
and eat a bunch of donuts.
Yep. But now we feel happy.
Yeah. So,
Rebel.
I guess on that note, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those interactive things. Comment what's your most excited game.
Yes.
Post Gamescom.
Yes.
Doesn't have to have been announced during Gamescom. Just post Gamescom.
What's your game you're looking forward to?
At this point in the year, what game are you looking forward to most? Doesn't have to be. It could be next year, this year, whatever. Mine's probably, unless Nintendo announces something huge. We don't know when Metroid's coming out, so I'm gonna have to say Lego Batman's probably my most excited. There's not a big RPG or anything for me to look forward to right now. So
yeah, as of right now, it's Ghost of Yotai.
Yeah. So. Be sure to follow the podcast on most social medias at Mondays for Nerds. Be sure to follow me, Tristan Stump, on most social medias at Sir Stumpslot or at Sir Stumpslot17.
Follow me at PolarPanda001 or Chris M. Pratt Fan on Instagram.
And yeah, we will see you all next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.